I used to love my hair, but now, I just don't know what to do with it anymore. That's what one woman told me as she settled into my chair. Her voice was soft, almost apologetic, like wanting to feel beautiful again was too much to ask. But here's the truth. Turning 50 doesn't mean letting go of style. It means redefining it with more wisdom, grace, and a better understanding of what truly suits us. The right hairstyle can lift your features, brighten your eyes, and even shift the way you carry yourself. It's not about chasing youth, it's about honoring who you are today. So in this video, I want to walk beside you through 3 common hairstyles that might be quietly holding you back, and then share 3 modern, flattering alternatives that I've seen light up the faces of so many women in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. And if you'd love more thoughtful beauty tips like this, made just for women like us, don't forget to subscribe to Chic Over 50. Let's make beauty feel effortless again. Let's start by taking a closer look at 3 styles that may no longer serve us no matter how long we've been loyal to them, and explore the softer, more balanced looks that can take their place. Hairstyle to avoid 1. Choppy. Messy layers that don't fall into place. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and thought, why does my hair look so chaotic no matter how much I brush or style it? If so, this might be the reason. Choppy. Overly layered hairstyles have become one of the most frustrating traps for women over 50. They promise movement and shape, but more often than not, they deliver mess and high maintenance. And the worst part, you might not even realize how much they're dragging your entire appearance down until you step back and really take a look. Over the years, I've worked with so many wonderful women who came to me feeling discouraged, saying things like, I used to love my hair, now I don't even know what to do with it. And 9 times out of 10, the culprit was a haircut that simply no longer worked for them. Those edgy, jagged layers might have looked lively in your 30s or 40s, but our hair changes. It becomes finer, softer, more delicate, and those layers start to misbehave. They flip the wrong way, stick out in odd places, and demand a full styling routine just to look half smooth. A close friend of mine, Marie, once joked, I think my hair wakes up before I do, and I knew exactly what she meant. Smooth down one side, the other pops up, try fixing the back, and suddenly the crown is flat. It's not just inconvenient, it's exhausting. Beyond the daily struggle, these haircuts also affect how your face is framed. Harsh, uneven layers that fall below the jawline can pull your entire expression downward. Instead of lifting and softening your features, they break up your natural structure and hide your eyes and smile. And the result? You look tired even when you're not. I often ask women in my chair, does your haircut highlight the features you love most about your face, or is it hiding them? There's another issue. When done poorly, layers can make thinning or fine hair look even thinner. I know that sounds counterintuitive because we've all heard add layers for volume, but when those layers are too short or too random, they remove fullness from the very areas where you need it most. The crown, the temples, the sides. What you're left with is hair that looks scattered instead of thick and, in some cases, even exposes more of your scalp. And let's not forget the emotional toll. When your hair constantly feels like a problem to fix, it chips away at how you feel about yourself. One woman once told me, I don't go out on Sundays anymore, I just can't deal with my hair. That broke my heart. Hair should never be the reason you hide from your life. It should support your energy, not drain it. So if you find yourself spending more time fixing your hair than enjoying it, the issue might not be you, it might be those layers. And if the reflection in the mirror doesn't feel like you anymore, that's not something to ignore. That's your sign it may be time for something new. Let me ask you this. Are you still holding on to the same haircut you loved 20 years ago? Even though your face, your hair, and your lifestyle have all changed. If so, you're not alone. We all cling to what once worked. But letting go of what no longer fits and stepping into a softer, more flattering version of yourself that's powerful. Here's the good news. You don't have to go short, edgy, or ultra trendy to look fabulous. There are modern cuts that are flattering, easy to manage, and incredibly stylish for where you are right now in life. We'll get into those very soon, but first, let's talk about one of the most common choices I still see women making, something they believe makes them stand out and look bold, but might actually be aging them more than they realize. Hairstyle to avoid 2. Jet black hair dye when bold turns harsh. There's something undeniably powerful about black hair. It's bold, commanding, timeless. For many women I've worked with, Jet black feels like their signature, a way to hold on to youth, strength, and identity. One woman once told me, "Black hair just feels like me, strong and grounded." And I get it. I truly do. But here's the hard truth. Sometimes the color that once made you feel strong slowly starts to work against you. As we age, our skin tone naturally softens. We lose some of the bright, rosy undertones we had in our 20s and 30s, and our complexion often becomes lighter, cooler, or more muted. Jet black with its intense contrast doesn't adjust with us. Instead, it sits harshly against mature skin, pulling out every shadow, every crease, every uneven patch. It doesn't blend. It spotlights. What once looked striking now risks looking stark. From a color theory perspective, this is a classic case of contrast overload. Dark black absorbs all light. It doesn't reflect or soften, which means it can flatten your features and make the skin look dull or more lined than it actually is. I can't count how many times I've gently pointed this out to women who told me, "I thought my skin was just looking tired," when in reality, it was the color doing the talking. And it's not just about appearance, it's also about how it feels to maintain. Jet black hair dye is incredibly unforgiving. Just 2 weeks after coloring, those silver or white roots start to peek through like clockwork. It becomes a race, constantly checking the mirror, booking salon appointments, or touching up at home. I've had friends and longtime clients tell me they feel like they're chasing their hair just to keep up. That pressure adds up. Instead of feeling empowered, they feel trapped. One of the most liberating conversations I've ever had in my salon was with Emma. She looked me in the eyes and said, "I finally realized I was coloring my hair for who I used to be, not who I am now." That realization changed everything. Because the goal isn't to hold on to an old version of ourselves, it's to celebrate who we are right now. And that includes choosing colors that soften, flatter, and evolve with us. So what works better? Rich chocolate browns, warm chestnuts. Subtle caramel highlights. These tones have depth without the harshness. They reflect light, adding vibrancy and softness to the face. Even something as simple as a medium brown with a hint of warmth can brighten the skin, lift the eyes, and reduce the need for heavy makeup. These shades aren't boring, they're graceful. And more importantly, they work with your features instead of overpowering them. If you've been feeling like your hair color just isn't doing you any favors lately, that it feels too heavy or flat, or simply doesn't match your energy anymore, maybe it's time to ask, am I still coloring my hair to look like I did at 25? Or to enhance who I am at 55 or 65? You don't have to go gray if you're not ready, but softening your shade, adding lightness or dimension, might just be the refresh your reflection has been waiting for. Hair color should complement the skin you have, now not the skin you had 2 decades ago. And trust me, when you find the right tone, it feels like your whole face exhales. Hairstyle to avoid 3. Over-teased volume, the big hair trap. There was a time when big hair meant confidence. It was a style statement. The higher the crown, the stronger the presence, or so we believed. But for many women over 50 today, that once powerful silhouette has become a burden physically and emotionally. What used to feel glamorous now just feels heavy. I remember styling a lovely 62-year-old woman named Linda. She had worn her hair teased and volumized for decades. As I brushed through her hair, she sighed and said, "I feel like I'm carrying my hair on my head all day." And I knew exactly what she meant. The daily battle of lifting, spraying, teasing, hoping it stays just right, can wear you out before you even leave the house. Here's the honest truth. Hair changes with age. It gets finer, more delicate, and when we push it to perform like it did 20 years ago with layers of teasing, root-lifting sprays, and stiff hold, it simply can't keep up. Instead of bounce, you get breakage. Instead of shine, you get dull, lifeless strands. Over-teasing not only weakens the hair, but also robs it of its natural softness and sheen. Then there's the visual effect. Too much volume at the crown throws off facial balance. Especially if you have a rounder face or softer jawline, the exaggerated lift can make your head appear top-heavy, or even slightly costume-like, more retro pageant than elegant woman. It can distract from your beautiful eyes, cheekbones, or smile. I often ask, does your hairstyle bring attention to what you love most about your face, or does it pull it away? And let's talk about effort. Teased styles are high maintenance. They require a fine line between just enough lift and going overboard. You might find yourself checking the mirror constantly, worried the wind will undo your hard work or that the hairspray is flaking. Some women have even told me they avoid hugs because they don't want their hair helmet to be disturbed. That's not style, that's stress. What I wish every woman knew is this. You don't need big hair to make a big impression. You've lived enough, loved enough, learned enough. You are already impressive. Modern volume is softer, more fluid. It enhances your movement rather than freezing you in place. Instead of reaching for the teasing comb, try embracing layers that naturally lift without stiff structure. Use light mousse or blow-dry techniques that give body while keeping things flexible. Focus on shine, movement, and shape that complements your bone structure, not competes with it. So now we've talked about the common pitfalls. Those styles that might have once served us well, but no longer reflect who we are today. The good news, beautiful, flattering hair doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need stiff volume, jet black dye, or fussy layers to feel confident again. In fact, it's often the softer, simpler choices that bring out our natural glow the most. Let's explore 3 hairstyles that I've seen make a world of difference for women in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, styles that don't just follow trends, but actually celebrate where you are in life. Ready to find one that truly moves with you, lights up your features, and brings ease back into your routine? Let's start with one of my all-time favorites. Youthful Alternative 1. The soft bob, effortless elegance at any age. There's something quietly powerful about a woman who walks into a room with hair that moves gently, frames her face just right, and looks like it took no effort at all. That's the beauty of the modern soft bob. It's not the sharp, rigid bob of the past, it's softer, a little longer, with fewer layers, and far more forgiving. For so many women over 50, this style has become a breath of fresh air. I still remember the moment when Helen, a warm and witty woman in her early 60s, looked at herself in the mirror after her first soft bob. She blinked, smiled slowly, and said, "I didn't realize my face could still look this bright." And it wasn't makeup. It wasn't lighting. It was simply the right haircut, one that respected where she was in life, not where trends thought she should be. So, what makes the soft bob so special? First, it frames the face beautifully without being too heavy or too sharp. It creates a gentle contour that lifts the jawline and draws attention to the eyes and cheekbones. For those of us who've noticed our features softening over time, this kind of structure can bring back definition without looking forced. It's also incredibly kind to fine or thinning hair because it doesn't rely on extreme layering or teasing. It allows your natural texture to shine through. If you've got a bit of wave or soft curl, the soft bob works with it, not against it. And if your hair is straight and fine, a slight inward curve at the ends can add that hint of volume without any fuss. One of my favorite things about this cut is how customizable it is. For square-shaped faces, I often recommend letting the front edges gently hug the chin. It softens the angles and adds a touch of femininity. For women with thinner hair, we sometimes keep the ends tucked slightly under to add the illusion of fullness. Just that subtle curve can make the difference between flat and flattering. And let's not forget color. A soft bob pairs beautifully with warm, dimensional tones. I often suggest gentle caramels, soft chocolate browns, or even rose gold highlights, something that adds light reflection and makes the hair look healthy and radiant. Not too dark, not too bold, just tones that echo the warmth in your skin and eyes. The best part, this hairstyle doesn't ask you to fight your hair every morning. It's low maintenance, grows out gracefully, and looks put together even with minimal styling. Whether you're heading to brunch with friends, showing up for a grandchild's recital, or just running errands, it brings that quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't shout but still gets noticed. Let me ask you something. When was the last time a haircut made you feel seen, like it actually understood who you are today? Not the woman from 25 years ago, but the incredible woman you've become. That's what the soft bob offers. It's not about turning back the clock. It's about meeting the moment with grace, ease, and just the right amount of elegance. And if you've ever felt unsure about changing your look, I promise you, you don't need a dramatic transformation to feel renewed. Sometimes, all it takes is a softer shape, a warmer tone, and a cut that finally lets your natural beauty shine through. Now that we've seen how one thoughtful cut can make all the difference, let's explore another timeless style, one that adds grace and sophistication without ever trying too hard. Youthful Alternative 2. The textured lob, light, lively, and so easy to love. If you've ever wanted to keep a bit of length without the hassle of high-maintenance hair, Let me introduce you to one of the most versatile and flattering cuts out there, the textured lob. A lob, short for long bob, usually hits right around the collarbone. It's not too short, not too long, just the right in-between that gives you options without overwhelming your look. This cut is especially perfect for women who aren't quite ready to say goodbye to ponytails, low buns, or soft waves. With the textured lob, you can still pull your hair back on a warm day or style it into effortless curls for a special night out. But the beauty of this cut is that even when you leave it down, it looks intentionally styled, what I like to call naturally polished. I remember Diane, a warm and witty woman in her late 50s, who had struggled for years to find a style that didn't feel like a chore. After her textured lob, she looked at herself in the mirror and said, "For the first time in 5 years, I feel light. Like I can walk out the door without fixing my hair 5 different ways." It wasn't just the haircut, it was the freedom it gave her. So why does the textured lob work so well for women over 50? For one, it adds softness without sacrificing shape. Gentle layers around the face bring movement and life to your look, while keeping everything light and manageable. Unlike choppy or overly layered cuts, this style flatters thinning hair by creating the illusion of fullness without bulk. It also plays beautifully with different hair textures. Got straight hair? The lob gives it shape and interest without needing heat tools. Have a bit of natural wave? The cut enhances it, making it look intentional and styled. Even slightly curly hair falls into place with ease, especially when paired with a light styling cream or leave-in conditioner, another perk. The textured lob pairs incredibly well with accessories and outfits. For women with a more angular jawline, this cut softens your features. It also draws attention upward, highlighting your eyes, cheekbones, and earrings. Want to wear bold hoops or delicate studs? They'll both shine with this cut. Prefer turtlenecks or boat neck tops? The lob balances higher necklines beautifully without overwhelming your shoulders or frames. And let's talk makeup. The clean lines of a lob give you space to play. A soft blush, a defined brow, or a pop of color on your lips feels elevated when paired with hair that frames your face so well. You don't have to do much, the haircut does half the work for you. Best of all, it grows out gracefully. Even after a couple of months, the lob doesn't lose its shape or charm. And if you feel like switching things up, you can go a little shorter or longer, add soft bangs, or play with highlights. It's flexible, forgiving, and flattering everything we want as our hair and lives evolve. So, if you've been holding on to longer hair but feel weighed down by the upkeep, the textured lob might be your perfect next step. It offers freedom, freshness, and just the right amount of movement to keep things feeling modern but never overdone. Now, let's move to the third and final style, one that's effortlessly feminine, timeless, and graceful in all the right ways. Youthful Alternative 3, curtain bangs with soft layers, framing the face with freshness. When you hear the word bangs, do you instantly flinch? You're not alone. So many women I've spoken to over the years have had one bad bang experience and swore them off forever. But let me tell you something. There's a world of difference between a blunt, heavy fringe and what we call curtain bangs. And for women over 50, this style is one of the best-kept secrets in modern, face-framing beauty. Curtain bangs aren't straight across or thick. They part naturally in the middle, softly sweeping to each side like, well, a pair of elegant curtains. They don't hide your face, they gently highlight it. They give just enough softness to draw attention to your eyes, cheekbones, and overall expression without overwhelming your features. One of the best things about curtain bangs is how forgiving they are. A full fringe can be harsh and difficult to grow out, but curtain bangs grow gracefully, blending into the rest of your hair over time. If you've been nervous to try bangs again, this is the style to dip your toes back in. It's low commitment, flattering, and surprisingly low maintenance. I remember Elizabeth, a woman in her early 60s who walked into the salon saying, "I haven't had bangs since college, and I'm pretty sure they scarred me." We laughed, but I could see she was genuinely nervous. Her forehead had recently become an area of concern for her, more from how she felt than how it looked to others. After a gentle cut with soft curtain bangs and a warm chestnut brown tone to match, she looked in the mirror, touched her new fringe lightly, and smiled. "This is me again," she said. She returned a few weeks later, not for another cut, but just to say thank you. What makes this style especially appealing for women in their 50s, 60s, and beyond is how it refreshes the face without changing your entire look. There's no drastic chop or shock value here. Curtain bangs can be as subtle or pronounced as you like, and they have a magical way of brightening the eye area, especially helpful when we want a little lift without reaching for concealer. If you have prominent cheekbones or a high forehead, this style is your best friend. The bangs help balance those proportions and bring harmony to your facial features. And if your hair is already layered, blending in soft face-framing layers with curtain bangs makes everything flow effortlessly. Styling them is a breeze. A large round brush and a quick blow-dry in the morning are often all you need to keep them looking fresh and bouncy. You don't need hot tools or hairspray, just a little lift at the root and a soft curve outward. Some women even let them air dry for a more casual, tousled finish. Curtain bangs also pair beautifully with many hairstyles, soft bobs, lobs, or shoulder-length cuts. They elevate the look with very little effort, and paired with natural makeup and soft tones in your wardrobe, they give off that effortless elegance we all love. What I love most about curtain bangs is how they make women feel. You're not trying to look younger. You're just revealing the softness, vibrancy, and confidence that's already there. And that's the power of a great haircut. It doesn't transform you into someone else. It simply lets the real you shine through. Now that we've covered all three of these fresh, flattering alternatives, each one designed to lift, frame, and celebrate your features, let's bring it all together. Because beautiful hair isn't about trends, it's about creating ease, joy, and confidence every time you look in the mirror. Choose what makes you glow, not what makes you look younger. We've just walked through 3 hairstyles that may be unintentionally working against your natural beauty, and 3 modern alternatives that bring out your softness, your strength, and your sparkle. Because after 50, the goal isn't to rewind the clock. It's to reflect the confident, elegant woman you are today. A great haircut won't change your age, but it can absolutely change how you feel stepping out the door each morning. So tell me, which hairstyle are you currently wearing? And which of these new looks are you most curious to try? If this video helped you see your hair in a new light, I'd love for you to subscribe to Chic Over 50. You deserve beauty advice that honors you just as you are.